Chapter 13, Developer and Deployment Services. Chapter 13 covers developer and deployment services in AWS, CloudFormation, CDK, Code Pipeline, Code Build, Code Deploy, and Code Artifact. These services form the automation layer of an AWS platform. They help teams define infrastructure as code, build applications consistently, run automated tests, deploy safely, and govern software dependencies. The core idea is simple. Serious cloud environments should not depend on manual console work. Infrastructure, pipelines, deployments, and packages should be versioned, reviewed, repeatable, and observable. CloudFormation is the foundational infrastructure as code service in AWS. It lets teams describe AWS resources declaratively and deploy them as stacks. This gives consistency across environments and makes infrastructure changes easier to review. Change sets, drift detection, stack policies, and rollbacks help teams understand and control infrastructure updates before they affect production. CloudFormation matters because it turns infrastructure into a managed lifecycle. A VPC, IAM role, Lambda function, S3 bucket, or database should not exist only because someone clicked through the console months ago. It should be defined, tracked, and reproducible. Modern CloudFormation also improves the operating model with Git sync and faster stack operations, making it easier to connect infrastructure changes directly to source control and review flows. The AWS Cloud Development Kit, or CDK, builds on CloudFormation by letting teams define infrastructure using programming languages such as TypeScript, Python, Java, and C#. CDK is useful when teams want abstraction, reuse, validation, and stronger developer experience than raw templates provide. Instead of copying large YAML files, teams can build constructs that represent approved infrastructure patterns. CDK is especially strong in platform engineering. A central team can create reusable constructs for secure buckets, standard APIs, approved Lambda patterns, account baselines, monitoring, or deployment roles. Application teams can then consume those patterns without relearning every low-level AWS property. Modern CDK migration tooling also helps when organizations inherit existing infrastructure and need to move it toward maintainable code. Code Pipeline is the orchestration service for CI/CD. It connects source repositories, build stages, test stages, approval gates, deployment stages, and rollback behavior. The pipeline is the release path. In mature environments, production change should move through a pipeline rather than through manual uploads or console edits. Code Pipeline is not just a sequence of boxes. It is where release governance becomes practical. Teams can enforce tests, security scans, manual approvals, environment promotion, and rollback processes. Newer support for dynamic variables, conditional execution, stage skipping, and rollback behavior makes pipelines less rigid and reduces the need for custom glue scripts around every deployment. Code Build provides managed build environments. Instead of maintaining build servers, teams define build specifications and run builds on demand. Code Build can compile code, run tests, build containers, produce artifacts, execute security checks, and integrate with VPC resources and IAM roles. It supports the shift away from fragile build machines and toward ephemeral, repeatable build execution. Modern Code Build also matters for developer workflow integration. It can act as a managed GitHub Actions runner, which lets organizations keep GitHub workflows while executing builds inside AWS-controlled environments with IAM, VPC access, and centralized governance. Lambda-backed build environments are also useful for small Barrett-fast jobs where traditional build containers are heavier than necessary. Code Deploy handles controlled application deployment. It supports deployment patterns for EC2, Lambda, ECS, and on-premises systems. The architectural value is risk reduction. Instead of replacing everything blindly, teams can use rolling, in-place, blue-green, or canary strategies depending on the workload. Traffic shifting, CloudWatch alarms, and automatic rollback help reduce the blast radius of bad releases. For senior engineers, deployment strategy is not a cosmetic choice. A small internal tool may tolerate simple in-place deployment. A customer-facing API may need blue, green, or canary release. A Lambda function may benefit from gradual traffic shifting. An ECS service may need automated rollback if health checks or metrics degrade. Code Deploy gives teams a managed way to encode these choices. Code Artifact is the software supply chain service. It provides managed package repositories for ecosystem systems such as NPM, Maven, NuGet, PyPI, and others. This matters because modern applications depend heavily on external libraries. If every build downloads packages directly from the public internet, the organization has weak control over dependency provenance, caching, availability, and security. Code Artifact helps centralize package governance. Teams can cache upstream packages, host private packages, control repository access, audit usage, and protect against dependency confusion. Package origin controls are especially important because they reduce the risk that an internal package name is accidentally or maliciously resolved from a public repository. The common theme across these services is repeatability. CloudFormation and CDK define infrastructure. Code Pipeline coordinates delivery. Code Build creates and tests artifacts. Code Deploy releases them safely. Code Artifact governs dependencies. Together, they support a platform where change is expected, controlled, and recoverable. A senior engineer should remember that developer and deployment services are not only developer convenience tools. They are security and reliability controls. Pipelines enforce process. Build environments isolate execution. Artifact repositories protect dependencies. Deployment strategies limit blast radius. Infrastructure as code makes environments reviewable and reproducible. The bottom line is simple. Automate everything that matters. If infrastructure cannot be rebuilt from code, it is fragile. If deployment depends on manual steps, it is risky. If packages come from uncontrolled sources, the supply chain is exposed. Modern AWS delivery uses infrastructure as code, managed CI/CD, safe deployment strategies, and governed artifacts to ship faster without losing control. Thank you for watching this chapter. I hope you found it useful and learned something valuable along the way. If you enjoyed the course, please like, subscribe, and support the channel. It really helps me create more content like this. For additional chapters, complete training paths, and other technology courses, be sure to check out the Opus Magus Academy channel. And if there are specific topics, technologies, certifications, or courses you would like to see covered in the future, please leave a comment below. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next chapter.